Hi, everyone. Hope you've had a good day. Thanks for coming to see me. So my name's Matt, Matthew, but most people call me Matt. And I have the job of leading ad innovation at Sky Media. So it's my job to connect all the things we do, or mirror all the things that we do in the customer space, so delivering great products to our customers, with innovation in the advertising space. Not wanting to do a sort of timeline off with the presentation with Finecast previously, just touching on innovation for a moment. Sky really is a business fundamentally built on innovation and driving change. I'm not going to go through every single one, but from being the UK's first satellite broadcaster in 1989, the world's first pay TV PVR with Sky Plus. In the advertising space, we launched Godsmark. In fact, we've just turned 10 years old in Godsmark, or it's 10 years since we ran our first campaign. So the first targeted TV advertising proposition at scale in Europe, certainly. And then more recently in the consumer product space, we've really supercharged innovation. So the launch of Sky Glass a couple of years ago, followed by Sky Stream, which is basically Sky Glass, but packaged into a box, same user experience and stuff like that. And then a couple of weeks ago, we announced Sky Live. So what I'm going to talk to you today is a little bit about some of the challenges that we face and how at Sky Media we respond to those challenges through product development and ad innovation, so how we think about that stuff. But I'm going to spend most of that time talking about Sky Live and how that's going to drive new customer experiences and hopefully lead to new brand experiences. So as I said, my job is to try and figure out how we match all that innovation in the consumer product space to innovation in the advertising space. And our mission is pretty straightforward, and that is that we want to shape the future of advertising in order to deliver better experiences for brands and for audiences. Now, for us, that kind of dual objective is really important. People pay not an insignificant amount of money for Sky's products and services usually. So making sure that those advertising experiences are great experiences for customers and therefore more effective for brands is really, really important to us. I'll touch a bit on that later. So I said, that's good. The end's just gone on to the next line. That kind of works actually as fragmentation, doesn't it? So that's good. I could have just said that was deliberate, couldn't I? Could have just not said anything. So the first is fragmentation. Now, we all know about this from our personal lives, and I'm sure you've heard tons of stats about this kind of stuff, but it's worth touching on the extent of fragmentation and what it means to us. So we think about device proliferation, first of all. So you can look at lots of different studies, but a recent Deloitte survey put the average number of connected devices in a UK home at 25, and that's up from something like 11 in 2019. We're also spending more time on screens. So again, depending on which study you look at and what that entity has to gain from it, you can read lots of different stats. But a U-Switch survey suggests that from 2022 suggests that the average UK person spends 5 hours a day, excluding work, on screens. So we're spending more time on our screens. Another key indicator of fragmentation that's important and I suppose meaningful to us as a business is the proliferation of SVOD services. So the average number of SVOD services in a UK household doubled between 2020 and 2022. Some of those businesses have obviously had a bit of a challenging time in the last couple of months, but what this means essentially for people and for advertisers and brands is that people are consuming more content and doing more stuff on their screens, but they're doing it in lots of different places. So audiences are often, sometimes quite difficult to find in consistent, meaningful ways. So the way in which we respond to that is in our consumer product space, it's about making sure that customers can view our content in all of those different spaces. So we've got Sky Go, for instance, on all sorts of different devices that you can view it on. In the advertising space, it means making sure that brands and advertisers can take advantage and find audiences that are important to them in all those different spaces. So when we think about product development, a big thing for us is making sure that it's consistent in all these different areas. So simplifying the way in which you can reach those audiences with tools and capabilities to enable you to do that in a seamless way. Next, so we talk about clutter in our business quite a lot, but I think what we really mean is bombardment. It's a bit of a cheat coming to a marketing festival and saying, how many brand messages have you seen today? Because you've seen, I know I've seen a lot. The average person in 2022 saw 36 TV ads a day. Jury's out for me on whether that sounds like a lot or not very many, but I think it probably sounds like quite a lot. Again, beyond TV, and that's just TV, beyond TV, and you can look at lots of different surveys and lots of different data, but it seems to me that the number is kind of coalescing around the average person sees something like 4,000 brand messages a day. 3,500 of those at MadFest today. So that's a lot. You know, think of all the ads that you saw on the tube, on the way here, on your smartphone when you were scrolling through Sky News. If you remember 10% of them, those brands are probably doing quite well in that 10%. If you thought something about that 10% and actually had and come back to it in a couple of days, those brands are doing really well. So it's really difficult when brands are vying for that attention in amongst the clutter. So what do we do about that? Well, for us, in our consumer business, it means that we use all that rich data about our subscribers, including the programs that they watch and how often they watch them for, and what's actually in those programs. So harnessing things like content metadata to create better recommendations to our customers, for instance. So you see on our TV products now, there's a really clever recommendations rail, which will deliver you exactly the kind of content that you want to watch. And that will be a key feature of Sky Glass and Sky Stream going forward. In our advertising business, and we've been doing this for a while, but it means doing targeted advertising better and making sure that you harness the right kinds of data to deliver the right outcomes for your brands. Our data, so I said we launched Godsmark 10 years ago. Our data suggests, when we look at the effectiveness of targeted advertising on TV, we look at a really simple metric around tune away. So when people watch targeted ads, they tune away, so change channel, turn the TV off, whatever it might be, at less than half the rate at when they watch broadcast ads. There's nothing wrong with broadcast ads. We do a lot of that as well. But they tune away at around half the rate. So it's actually delivering them a better experience. Again, for Sky, that's good because they're there, they stay on the channel, they stay with the content. And if we follow that through, those ads, typically our research suggests that they tend to cut through. So things like ad recall tends to be much higher, or where ad recall tends to be much higher. Targeted ads tend to be more relevant, and therefore people are more likely to take an action. We've got 10 years worth of data across hundreds and hundreds of campaigns that support that. So we're committed to using that data and harnessing that data to do targeted TV ads, whether that be in a live or an on-demand environment, much, much better. And then finally, the way, we talked a bit about the kind of proliferation of devices, demand for content wherever you want it, and really we've gone through this period where we've looked at kind of I suppose disruption in distribution, so getting content to people wherever they want it. Then there's been kind of disruption in content creation, so making sure that we can get really, really high quality content to lots of people. And the next piece of disruption is clearly the need for people to be participating in that. So some interaction of some sort. And we can see clearly from the gaming industry that is the direction of travel across all entertainment. The expectations are changing. How do we do that? We engage with customers in new ways. So then that applies to both our consumer business, and I'm going to talk about how we're doing that in a minute. In our advertising business, it means creating brand experiences that fit with those new content and entertainment experiences that are interactive in an authentic and meaningful and effective way. So this is the area I'm going to spend a bit more time on. And when I say I look after ad innovation at Sky Media, this is kind of the bit that people always think of. So it's the bit that I kind of spend the most time on anyway. So a bit more on the opportunity and just touching on those expectations in the home around how people want to interact with their devices. So we say that we're more connected, but we're generally speaking, we're more connected individually. So we might be sitting on the sofa together, but we're each looking at different things on our smartphones. Entertainment is clearly evolving and is more engaging. And again, I said we see these examples from the gaming industry, but we've also seen examples of interactive TV and kind of plot twists that go different ways, that experiments in that space in content, which are really, really interesting. But the expectations around entertainment are just evolving. And then finally, people expect to get more from their technology at home. So people expect to use their TV for more. We've seen for a while that there's lots of different stuff that we've put on Sky Q, for instance, aside from just watching content live and on demand. So we've had the Peloton app on Q for a couple of years, for instance. So people are receptive to using their technology and in fact demand to be able to use their technology in different ways. Big opportunity for Sky to fill this space. So a couple of years ago, and we teased it actually when we announced Sky Glass a couple of years ago, but we broke cover on the brand and some more details in the last couple of weeks. So 2 weeks ago, we announced the launch of Sky Live. So Sky Live is a smart, interactive camera that partners Sky Glass and Sky Stream. And I'm going to show you a video.
Yeah, next time I'll bring you here. Have a look at this.
Casey.
Oh my God.
Hey, I'm your personal trainer. Nice work. You ready for more?
So that's Sky Live. If you haven't seen it, you're going to be seeing lots more of it because there's a big marketing push around it. Has anyone tried it, or has anyone got one, aside from the people I have seen in the room who work for Sky? Which is not that many. No. So this really is hot off the press. And it's a huge step forward. So if you think about what there's been to date, particularly around streaming services, quite often we're relying on different little boxes or pucks or different UIs, and we're having to switch between these different environments. Where Sky Live really takes us when added to Sky Stream or Sky Glass is that concept of having a single, powerful, interactive streaming device and having it all in one place. So in terms of the hardware, it sits on top of your TV, either a Sky Glass or whatever TV you've got. It's got a 12 megapixel HDR capable camera, which has got a 106-degree wide field of view lens. It's got 4 cameras. So the hardware is pretty impressive in itself. But the really, really cool thing that we've done is a huge commitment to the software, which supports and enables the experiences that we're delivering at launch, but also the experiences that will happen in future. So that comprises 2 elements. One is the Lens SDK, and that's really about enabling stuff like video calling for the living room. So making sure that you're tracking when someone's talking around the room, making sure that you've got really clever audio cancellation, so you're picking up people when they're talking, but you're not picking up someone who's clattering over the other side of the room. And the second one is the Sense SDK, and that's really about enabling body movement in order to be able to interact with and use and experience some of these capabilities. So there are 4 key kind of core experiences on Sky Live. So the first is video calling. So for video calling, we've partnered with Zoom, who are obviously a huge video calling player globally. The person you're calling doesn't need to have a Sky Live camera on their box in order to be able to call someone else. They can just log in via their Zoom account and call anyone, anywhere in the world. The beauty being that you have the experience sitting on your sofa. And the second is watch together. And this is one that we're really excited about. So again, that is the ability on live TV and on Sky on-demand content to watch with your friends, even when you're not together. So you can watch the Love Island finale together, you can watch the Champions League final, whatever it might be. And it's got some really clever features. So you can do things like put people's volume up and down. So I could actually mute one of my friends if they were kind of talking over some content too much. There'll be a dedicated watch together button where it will highlight enabled content, and there'll also be recommended content. So stuff that's really suitable for kind of watching together. And you can start to see where some of the possibilities for brands to be involved in that might lie. But those are things that we're developing at the moment. The third is play. And again, this is a big area for us. It's kind of split into casual gaming and longer term, slightly more hardcore gaming. But at launch, there will be. I've got used to there will be over the last couple of years. There are a series of games. And a couple of those key ones are, there's a version of Fruit Ninja, which is specifically developed for Sky Live, where you actually use your body to slash across the fruit. There's also a version of Monopoly, which again uses some of those other bits from things like video calling. So you can play Monopoly on your screen, and you've got videos on the side of all of the different people that are playing it using the camera. We'll continue to develop new games, and there's opportunities for brands to get involved in the development of those games, and integrating brand experiences into them as well. And finally, fitness. So we partnered with a company called With You to launch Movement, which is exclusive to Sky Live at the moment. And that will be a series of exercise videos with specific coaches. The big difference here is that it will use the technology in order to do things like study your form. So it'll say, you need to keep a straight back when you're doing a specific exercise. There's also a companion app that goes with it that you can download in order to track your progress, tailor your workouts, but also share on social as well. So those are the kind of the core experiences, and that will continue to develop over time. At first, there'll be primarily customer-led experiences, but we're exploring all of the various possibilities about how brands can get involved and help us create experiences on the platform. The feedback has been really good. So in our survey feedback, one of the things that really comes through, and this is a quote, is just this idea of connecting the family with new experiences, and whether they're together or whether they're apart, delivering something new that they can enjoy together. And that's where we want to be, is the heart of the home, delivering those experiences. And then if you take that through to what do the press and what do tech experts think of it, the feedback there has been pretty good as well. So some really nice stuff around how it's going to change the way in which people interact with their TV in the longer term. So where does it go? So Sky Live is added to the Sky OS entertainment system, the Sky OS and Sky Ents OS. Which includes Sky Live and Sky Glass and Sky Stream. So it will keep evolving. It'll keep getting better, and we'll keep delivering new experiences with every update. But the one thing I probably want to leave you with today on Sky Live is that it's very much open for business. We announced at launch that we will soon be launching a developer platform. So we are open for content creators and app developers to come in and work with us to deliver new experiences on the platform. So it's something we're really, really excited about for our customers, but also for longer term for brands to be involved in helping us create those experiences, but also those advertising moments for our customers. Thanks very much.